Ever feel like your organization is just drowning in data chaos? Well, today we're going to talk about Palantir's Ontology, a piece of technology that's designed to slice right through all that complexity. We're going to look at how it creates what you could call a minimalist mode for business, turning this tangled mess of data into a clean, simple, and seriously powerful tool for making decisions.
So, here's the plan. First, we're going to tackle the data spaghetti problem that just plagues so many companies. Then we'll get into how the ontology creates a digital twin, but not of a machine, a twin of meaning itself. After that, we'll break it down into its simple building blocks, peek inside its three-layered brain, see its jaw-dropping real-world impact, and finally, we'll ask the big one. Is this the future operating system for AI?
All right, so let's start at the beginning. What is the core problem that a tool this powerful is even trying to solve? Well, it all comes down to the absolute chaos of modern data infrastructure. This quote just nails it. Imagine you want to build a new app for your company. You've got to connect it to your big ERP system, your customer database, your giant data lake, and every single connection is a custom job. Over time, you end up with this tangled, fragile mess, this spaghetti architecture, where changing one tiny thing might break 10 other things. It's a total nightmare, and it completely stifles innovation. And this is where the solution comes in. The ontology basically inserts itself as this strategic middle layer. It decouples or separates the messy, always changing back-end systems from the nice, clean apps your employees actually use. Think of it as a universal translator for all your back-end chaos, creating the stable bridge so you can finally build things on the front end without being terrified of breaking everything. So, how does it actually pull this off? Well, the concept is often called a digital twin, but you have to understand, Palantir's approach here is fundamentally different. They aren't building a twin of a physical thing, they're building a twin of an idea, your organization's logic. At its very core, the Palantir Ontology is a digital twin of your organization's logic. This isn't just about copying your data. It's about creating a living, breathing model of your business processes, your rules, and how you actually make decisions. The whole goal is to create one single, shared source of truth that everyone and every application can plug into. And this contrast right here is so key. When most of us hear digital twin, we picture a 3D model of a jet engine on a screen tracking its performance in real time. But Palantir isn't twinning the machine, it's twinning the meaning. It's modeling the abstract concept of a supply chain decision. What factors are important, what are the risks, what actions can you even take? It's a twin of semantics, not just of physics. So how in the world do you build a twin of meaning? Well, it turns out it starts with some surprisingly simple and intuitive building blocks. You can basically think of it as the grammar of your business. It all begins with the nouns of your business. You have an object type, which is just a category, like a customer. Then you have an object, which is a specific one, like customer 123. Properties are its attributes, name, address, that kind of thing. And links are what define the relationships, like which customer placed which order. It's a really logical way to map the messy real world into a clean digital model. But here, and you got to pay attention here, this is the game changer. Actions. These are the verbs of your business. Things like approve an order or update a shipment status. This is what gives the ontology its right back capability. It transforms it from just a passive dashboard for looking at data into a true operating system for doing things. It closes the loop between seeing an insight and actually taking action. Okay, so you take these building blocks and then you organize them into this really powerful three-layer architecture. It's helpful to think of it as the system's brain, with different parts for understanding, for doing, and for deciding. This structure is really where the magic happens. The first layer, the semantic layer, is all about the nouns. It defines what everything is and creates that single source of truth. The second layer, the kinetic layer, is about the verbs. It models and executes all the business processes and the actions. And then at the top, you have the dynamic layer, which is the brain. It uses the other two layers to run simulations, guide decisions, and even learn from what happens. And this isn't just some random structure they dreamed up. It actually mirrors the OODA loop, a famous decision-making cycle that was developed for military fighter pilots. You observe the world with that semantic layer. You orient yourself using the context from the whole ontology. You decide on the best move using the dynamic layer simulations, and then you act using the kinetic layer. It's literally an engine built for making high-stakes decisions really, really fast. Okay, that's enough theory. What does this actually look like when it hits the real world? Well, the results, honestly, they're staggering. Get this. At City Wealth, opening a new account used to take 9 days and involved 50 people. Now, with the ontology in place, it takes just a few seconds with one person overseeing it. That right there is the power of this minimalist mode in action. Or look at healthcare, where the impact is just as dramatic. Tampa General Hospital used the ontology to completely streamline their operations, and it led to an 83% reduction in the time it takes to place a patient. I mean, that's getting people the care they need that much faster. And in something as complex as manufacturing, Airbus is a fantastic example. They integrated all this separate data, schedules, parts, defects, into one single view, and they increased the production speed of their A350 aircraft by over 30%. So whether you're talking manufacturing, healthcare, or finance, the pattern is exactly the same: radical improvements in speed and efficiency. It really shows how this minimalist mode of operating, having one clear, actionable model of your business, delivers huge value no matter what industry you're in. So, with results like these, you have to start asking the big strategic questions, right? What is the ontology's real place in the world, and where is all of this going, especially now in the age of AI? This comparison is just fundamental to understanding it all. A traditional data warehouse, that's built for looking backward. It's for historical analysis. It uses a rigid structure. The ontology, on the other hand, is built for operating in the now. Its flexible graph model is designed to represent the messy, interconnected reality of a business and to drive actions in real time. One is for analysis, the other is for operations. And that brings us to the most crucial point. In a world where AI models are kind of becoming commodities, Palantir's real advantage, its competitive moat, it isn't a better AI, it's the ontology, it's the operating system. See, an AI model on its own has no idea about your business's unique rules or relationships. The ontology provides that critical context. It acts like a Rosetta Stone that makes any AI model genuinely useful and, more importantly, safe for your specific company. However, and this is a big however, it's not all straightforward. Adopting this platform is a massive commitment. The total cost of ownership is incredibly high. We're talking many, many millions of dollars. The risk of vendor lock-in is also huge because your entire business logic gets deeply baked into their system. And of course, it's worth noting the long-standing ethical controversies surrounding some of the company's government contracts. These are all critical things to consider. And that vendor lock-in risk brings us to this absolutely perfect analogy. Palantir might tell you their platform is open. You can always export your raw data, right? You can take your bricks. But the real value isn't in the bricks, it's in the blueprint. The ontology itself, that complex model of your business logic you spent years building, is nearly impossible to take with you. Recreating it would be like trying to rebuild your company's brain completely from scratch. And so, that leaves us with the ultimate question. Is the ontology the blueprint for the future AI-powered corporation, this new minimalist mode of operating? Or does achieving all that beautiful simplicity come at the cost of the ultimate form of vendor lock-in? It's a fundamental trade-off, and it's one that's going to define the next era of enterprise technology.